James Ikechukwu Esomuga, popularly known as Jim Ike, is a Nollywood actor, film and music producer, model, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He holds a degree in philosophy and a postgraduate diploma in banking and finance from the University of Jos.
Our guest for today is not just one of the most popular actors in the continent of Africa, but is an entrepreneur, a fashion icon, an activist, and a man that just loves to speak his mind. I'm talking about Jim Ike. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
And welcome to Canada. I see you're all warmed up, and I'm in a summer mood.
I don't know how you guys
Did you bring the cold from Nigeria?
I had to bring something from Nigeria. I came all dressed up, but I see you're still in your summer clothes, so that's fine. We'll find an in-between somehow.
Yeah, we have watched you on the big screen. We've seen you do a lot of other things successfully. What in your upbringing prepared you for the life that you live now, like, you know, just doing everything that you do well?
I didn't prepare in any way for this. I had no one in my background that was involved in the arts or in entertainment. We're science people, we're people that went to school for various reasons apart from entertainment. And when I made up my mind that I was going to do this, I think I encountered every form of, you know, hostility. My parents were completely averse to it. My dad didn't want me to do it, but I was fixated. I knew that this was not, I wasn't perhaps called out for a 9-to-5 job. I had a background in finance. I just finished my degree. I was about 19 and a half. I didn't know what to do with my life at that point. I started a postgraduate that I consequently finished, and the next option was a master's, and well, I couldn't plan a PhD before I was 27. I went against the grain. I stood up against all the oppositions, and I'm an only son with 6 sisters.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had at that point, I was living with about 13 women. Yeah,
wow.
My aunties, my my grandma, my mom, my sisters, their friends. I didn't have any strong male presence in my house apart from my dad. I've been successful in every way. I've pushed myself beyond boundaries, beyond even the call of the platform I've been offered. And I'm satisfied with my life. I think that more than anything else is what is
that's what's important.
Right now.
Following your dreams,
Absolutely.
right? And just doing what you're best suited for.
Absolutely.
Yes. Love. What? Come on.
I cook.
A cook?
Sometimes I wait tables.
He's a waiter. Oh my God, what happened to your standards? You're dating a waiter.
See this girl right here? All she's gonna do is spend your money.
Whoa! Seriously? I don't like the way you talk about her. I mean, her name is Love. L-O-V-E.
Well, with a name like that, someone would think you should know something about love.
If this is what marriage does to people, then I am never getting married.
Your voice is great, sorry.
That's what's up.
Marry me.
Jim Ike has starred in over 150 films and has received many prestigious awards, including Best Actor at the African Hollywood Award, African Achievement Award, and at the NET Awards in New York.
Getting a break in the industry is not easy because there are thousands, millions of people in the case of Nigeria trying to do what you do. How did the first break come for you? How did you even get your first role? Tell us a little bit about that.
When I left home, I didn't know where to go. I went to...
Wait, when you say you left home, you mean you moved out of...
Yes, he asked me to move out. He said, that's it.
Oh, he asked you to move out?
Yes, he said if it came to that point, he said, okay, if you can't pursue the dreams that we orchestrated, more or less for you, for your own betterment. I think we can, two captains, I remember, quote and unquote, two captains can be in the same on the same ship. I went to Lagos, I took a bus ride. It was about, I think, a 10-hour bus ride. Ended up in Lagos, right in front of I had one address, my cousin's address. My dad raised them in school, so I thought he owed us something. So I went to him, but I was spoiled. I didn't know how to look after myself, obviously, at that point. He couldn't live with me. After 2 weeks, he threw me out. No, I was back in the street. No, you can't walk into someone's house and start asking for certain meals to be made for you and certain things. So I got thrown out a lot, you know. So I think I got thrown out about the 4th time when I had my first gig. It was a walk-on part. It's called Waka Pass. That is Nollywood speak for extra. Took a room with a friend of mine, and together we survived. I always made it a point to do good homework before I come for auditions. So the auditions were always in my favor. Okay, and at that point, they were rooting for me, but I was identified as the guy that would not take small parts.
Really?
Yes. I would show up at auditions. They would say, you know what, the big parts are taken already by the big stars. We have a 5, 6, 7, 10 scene role. We know a guy like you that is in the making can take. And I'll refuse. I'll walk away. The first Afro Hollywood Award in London came, and all the A-list stars traveled for it. It was, for most of them, it was their first time in London. And so they stayed longer than anticipated. And there was there was a space, there was a void, there was a need for actors at that point. But most of the big actresses stayed. So the producers decided, okay, we have the big female names. All we need to do is bring guys on the rise and merge them and continue making movies. So at that point, I remember his name would be Mad Bogo, was like, okay, where's that dude that keep refusing roles anyways? I think this is a good time to put him up.
Cast him.
So they casted me for my first film. It's called Curse from Beyond. And I did another one after that called The Prisoner. The third one was called $1. I did about 4 films before they returned. 3 months later, all the movies came out and they were all #1 without exception.
Wow.
Not 2, 3, no. All 3 movies were #1. And they outsold movies these guys were making by, I mean, tons of hundreds. You know, like, so it was evident that I had a place after that, and I think the rest is history. I kept going from there.
Wow, it's incredible because, you know, if you really want to do something that is worth pursuing, you have to give it your all.
Absolutely, yeah.
You
You
know?
have to be resilient about it.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself. I think the overweighing chief factor was the absolute conviction I had that I was born to do this.
When we first saw you on the big screen, they actually gave you a lot of roles that where you were aggressive or on drugs,
The
or
angry black man.
An angry black man. You said it. Yeah, it didn't come from me. You said it.
I totally bear responsibility for
Now
it.
tell us, who is the real Jim Ike?
My uncle said it's one of probably the most respected man I have in my life. It's like a surrogate father in a love sense. He said that a man lives 3 lives. They say everybody lives 3 lives. You have the public life, you have the private life, and then you have the secret life. There have been speculations about my age, my life, my background, my education, but even my sanity in a lot of sense. And the press needed to create something. They needed to create an enigma. They needed to create something that would fill their ulterior motives. And private life is your trust circle, your family, the trusted people that have been with you when nothing was there, to when you assumed a certain degree of success, to people that your instincts draw you to for one reason or the other. Those people, they know you to in various degrees. To a
Are you like
degree.
any of the character you've played?
No, not yes, yes, to a
Some.
point. When I'm angry, when I'm not happy with a situation, I'm that person that I get over things. I don't know how to hold things in. I think it's damaging. I think it's part of being, it's part of my therapy in a way. I do what is necessary. I scream, I run, I do really funny, crazy, unconventional things when I'm not happy. But
Right.
I get rid of that poison within the space of time that is bothering me. I don't pack it in. I don't introspect on it. And after that, I'm wholesome. I can attack and flow with anybody at that point. I want to approach every subject matter, everybody, irrespective of class, status, creed, without bias, without prejudice. I will not judge anybody by the way they judge me. I can be open to anything. And I think that is the part of me that I develop every day. That's a part of me that people don't know. I'm private. I love my privacy. I love books. I love movies. It's small wonder I'm
Many people
involved in
find that
this.
surprising that you're
Yes.
very private.
Yes. I can shut down for 2 weeks. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm not in the social circle. I'm sure you know that. You know Nigeria well. Nobody can claim they've seen me in a club in the last 4 years or 5 years. Nobody can claim I've been to a certain, I think I did 2 awards in 3.5 years or 4 years. Nobody can say I've ever celebrated my birthday party and they came to it or theirs. Nobody, I think none of my colleagues have ever been to my home.
Wow.
I promise you that. And the circles I like to hang with is not the conventional showbiz, over-the-top circles. I have my same old friends. They're 3 guys. They live in different parts of the world. I've known them for 15 years. And they have kids now that I happily, they call me
Right.
uncle. So it's the same life. That's the only grounded part I know. That's the only part I can keep to myself all through these years. I think to a great extent, that's what has informed my sanity even.
You're watching Planet Africa Television, and we're still talking with Jim Ike. This is his first interview in about 3.5 years, and he's not hiding anything at all. He's just telling us everything. Now, Jim, you've done a lot of things. Acting is one. You're also an entrepreneur. You own a label and your own fashion, business. Tell us a little bit about that and why you decided to do this other things as well.
I'm never satisfied. My mom has always been an entrepreneur. She's absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, I lost her. My mom is always trying something new without fear. She's absolutely fearless. I took that part, embraced it wholeheartedly, and I think many times when I found the physical pressures around me short, it was the knowledge, the upbringing she imbibed in me that kept me going. The fact that I don't know what giving up means. I don't understand what no means. I don't understand how one can basically in an atmosphere of negativity and hope to thrive. When you grow up around that kind of energy, around that kind of vibe, around that kind of philosophy, it's hard for you to feel.
Would you describe yourself as a fashion icon in Africa?
No, fashion is so overrated.
Right.
I'm a stylist.
You're a stylist?
Yes, I like style. I like men of style. I like people that reinvent everything.
And you have your own style too?
Yes, I do have my own style. I mean, that's
I mean, but I saw you, I'm like, man.
I like that.
This is Jim Ike.
Yes, ma'am.
Unscripted.
I don't do the conventionals. I think fashion is so short-lived. It's so momentary. It's one of those things you go in and out of. Style is what sustains time.
Yeah, because Jim says so. Joan, how we do it? Joan, how we do it? Because Jim says so. Because Jim says so. Because Jim says so. One that you wanna listen to. Because Jim says so.
Your show, Jim Ike, Unscripted.
Yeah.
I've seen a few episodes. I know you said you're a private person, but the
Isn't
show
that
is
putting myself out
the
there?
show is pretty, putting you out there. But what made you decide to do that?
And we're on our 4th season now. We're pushing 15 million people. In every ramification, is easily the most successful reality show in the continent right now. The camera works for me. I decide what the camera sees. I decide what it shows people. That is not saying that I'm curbing
So it's
anybody's
scripted then, not
enthusiasm.
unscripted.
I was coming. We're in a debate, a very formal one. I'm saying that there's a public, private, secret life. if you've seen the public, and I allow you, because of the platform that is unscripted, to see the private, it does not give you the right to see the secret. I still will maintain a certain degree of mysticism.
Let's talk about the industry. The industry has made great strides from, when it started. And right now, just watching your show and seeing you go travel around the world and how people react to you means that people are watching. Now, where do you see the industry now compared to when it started, and where do you think it's going?
That's a very good question. To start with, it's been a transition and metamorphosis of sorts. Where are we going to be 10 years from now? I see foreigners taking over the industry, bringing us some business proposals that will meet our need for expansion, that will meet the new minds, the novelty of what is required, the people that are on the transition, that want to take it to the next level, people like me that are always forward thinking. And the industry is going to compete. I think we've superseded Bollywood at the moment. But the difference between us and Bollywood is that the government, it's in its entirety, is in support of that industry, as opposed to ours. If we don't refrain from this and begin to pay close attention to this gift that's been given us, it will quickly leave our control into the hands of the people that appreciate it. Yeah. But it is forward moving. It is. It's in progress. There's a process already.
That's interesting. Well, when we come back, I would like to speak with you about your activism, because I know you support a lot of causes and you've actually put yourself and your brand behind it. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're still talking with Nollywood actor Jim Ike, and right now, Jim, I just want to ask you about your activism. Just tell me about some of the things that you advocating for right now.
We always share the little we have with somebody. There's always the odd cousin that shows up at Christmas events or birthday events that you greatly resent, but they're there to share the little rice that you will give it. And then that T-shirt you don't want to let go of, you've grown sentimentally attached to, and my mom practically wrings that on my fingers to give it to somebody. But you grow up around that kind of environment, and you quickly learn that everything in life is to be shared. My mom is always like this car, Bora. The Volkswagen Bora?
Yes.
To the first paycheck I got, I bought a brand new car. I bought myself a second-hand car, but I felt her need was more. So I bought a brand new car. And I quickly ran home and gave it to her with, an annoying amount of cash. Then she said, how much do you have now? So evidently I had spent close to $50,000, and then I was worth at that point maybe $3,000. She couldn't make sense of it. She said, "You spend $50,000 on me, and you have $3,000. How are you going to survive?" I told her, "Listen, I have 6 jobs lined up. By the time I'm done, I'm going to be worth 10 times that." And she said, "Okay, that's a given. But the point at the moment is that the money is not in your hands."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't see who is the smart person here. The point is that, you see, these things you bought is good. I understand what you're trying to do. But the people you're trying to impress, they don't hold any sway in your life. Do me a favor, go and find a cheaper car. Go to an orphanage, and I want to see evidence that you did this.
Wow.
Do something, because when God begins to bless you, He leaves you enough space to reciprocate through other people's lives. But you know what? I also agree with you on something. I won't take the car. I'll go back and work my butt off, because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of hard work anymore. But I'll come back to you, and you and I will sit down and work out how this will happen. I came back 6 months as agreed. It was very hard to come back. I had a lot of needs. The bigger you are, the more your needs. And so they got 3 or 4 orphanages. I funded orphanage 3 or 4 of them for over 3 years. Nobody knew. So the Jim Ike Foundation, we were pro bono at best. We did everything and anything to support anybody. We organized a 7,000 children march. It's still the biggest march in Abuja that's organized by a single entity. And we walked the street of Abuja just to say no to poverty, say no to child abuse, say yes to education, a whole bunch of great things that kids want to be affiliated with.
Where do you want to see yourself, say, in 5, 10 years from now?
I want to be that person that, you know, conquered all his dreams, all his fears. And I want to be the vanguard for other people to emulate and look at. The boundaries is just that which is perceived as created by yourself. You can go beyond it. We created an entity recently called Ada Commercial. We grow rice. I managed to bring two really big heavyweights in the continent to be a part of it. We want to grow it. We just signed a 5-year contract with Iyke'S. Okay. And that is to be their sole, they're just going to be our sole off-takers to the tune of 70%. So that alone is going to feed so many people. We're going to employ well over 5,000 people from that platform alone. And I happen to be in charge of that. That is amazing. It's not only about being rich. I want to be wealthy, but I want people to be able to be a part of that wealth.
There's something that Martin Luther King said, that an individual has not begun to live until they rise above their individualistic concerns to that of all humanity. I think it's basically true. It doesn't matter how much you have. If you've not risen above that selfish ness of amassing wealth and just having it all to yourself, you haven't started living. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Jim, for coming on the show today. I've learned a lot. I mean, I've been very inspired by your story as well, how you were kicked out and were able to, you know, go to Nollywood and say, I will not take no small roles. And I mean, and today, you know, you're one of the most popular actors, one of the most successful. And I must say, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
And we look forward to see you again soon in Canada.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
And have a good trip back.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.